Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Chet Greengrass, and I am here on a very momentous evening. It is midterms 2022 in the United States of America, and we are on the precipice of the initial poll closing, which may very well yield a turning point in American politics. Will the Democrats regain control of the Senate, gaining a lock on the political system, all houses, all sections, minus the Supreme Court? Or will the Republican Party turn the tables yet again, ushering in a new era and potentially a complete change in 2024? I am again Chet Greengrass, coming to you live from KNN News Networks, and I'll be with you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us as always. We thank you for trusting KNN as your most guided news source. We thank you coming back year after year, decade after decade. We recently celebrated our 175th anniversary. And of course, we couldn't have done it without you. The tote bags that you purchased were invaluable in keeping us afloat, especially during the unprecedented pandemic times. As I said, we are entering the 45th consecutive hour of election coverage. And I, as your sole anchor, have been here since the very beginning. I am fueling myself on a plethora, a chemical cocktail of a variety of antidepressants, pharmaceuticals, and mystery liquids found behind the KNN studios. Now, once again, everyone, if you're here, then you probably know what night it is. It is the midterms, and the United States is poised for a change. Free speech, women's rights, the climate, men's rights, men's wrongs, and of course, the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to remember those we've lost over the past year. Fellow anchor Glenn Redwald, and of course, James. Moment of silence, beginning now. Thank you, everyone. We thank you for tuning in this evening. Once again, I am Chet Greengrass, and I am here and will guide you and will tell you what and how to think. Now, those of you who have already been to your polling place of choice, we know you have many choices in terms of how you vote, be they in person or fraudulent. But regardless of which way you cast your ballot or cast your aspersions, we thank you for participating in the democratic process. Of course, Kaiju News Network is funded exclusively through viewers, listeners, and others like you. A special thank you to Coke Media Group for the generous donation. Now, this wouldn't be KNN without a very special individual, a certain someone who is always on the scene, on the case, and ready to deliver the hard-hitting news that you have come to expect. We have, of course, Glenn Dobb. Glenn, are you on scene? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Glenn, you are live from the Keystone State, one of the states whose polls will begin closing in a few short minutes. We will be cutting to you shortly for the news down from the polling place. I believe you are in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Glenn, are you coming through? We're not getting you just yet, Glenn. Glenn, can you hear me?
Hi, Chet. Yeah, Chet, you're coming through over here. We got you.
Okay.
Oh,
fantastic. Glenn, no, hold on. We're going to cut you soon. We're going to see if we can get the live satellite feed cutting in.
Yeah, we quite a few technical difficulties. A few technical difficulties today. Bear with us here.
We got the feed.
We're working through it.
Let's cut the feed.
These AV guys are real crack AV guys. Son of a bitch! You gotta be kidding me. Did we fucking do it again?
Glenn, we got you. We have you, Glenn. Glenn, can you tell us how's the Keystone State looking, Glenn?
Oh, son of a bitch!
Glenn.
Fucking did it again. It would appear we are not actually in the Keystone State. From appearances, we seem to have gotten on the wrong flight here. We're actually in Washington. We missed it by about a...
Am I hearing you right, Glenn? You're in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, we did it again. Oh, God. These stomach ulcers.
Glenn, you sound a little winded. Are you okay, Glenn?
Yeah, well, I just flew here. Old arms are a little tired. I'm sorry, you got a kid. You got to make light of situations like this. Hi, we're live on the scene. KNN News. We're actually dealing with some real trauma today. It seems as though there was a small collision that occurred here on Washington on the Boulevard as we were interviewing bystanders for the election. And it appears a couple of citizens have been splatooned on the ground here, is how the officer told me. It was splatooned. So I don't... It's very downbeat, very downtrodden here.
Glenn, it appears to still be daylight. Are you in Washington? You're Washington D.C., Glenn.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
You may have gone a bit south, Glenn. You may have gone a bit south.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're coming through. We got a little delay here, and now you sure about that? Are you? It does seem a little late. It does seem a little late.
Yeah,
for this hour of the day. So you may be on to something there,
Glenn. I'm just gonna ask you a direct question. Are you in Washington State? Are you on the west coast of the United States? Beautiful state, by the way.
And if I was, how would you say that would affect the quality of the work I've been doing today?
Well, it depends, Glenn. What do you have for us? You appear to have found some sort of traffic accident.
So what we stumbled upon.
You mentioned 3 children were splatooned, Glenn. Is that a? Yeah,
no. Did I hear you say 3 children were splatooned?
A Nintendo game.
Yeah, no, it's you must be getting the same
reports.
Are we doing
holiday gift guides, Glenn?
I think you're getting the same reports that we've been getting here from the scene live. The splatooning is real. I will tell you that much. I don't think these cars care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. They hit you just the same. And then that's just the Washington way. And so I'll tell you, out here in the field, what we're seeing a lot of is a lot of people very, very not happy.
Am I getting that? Are these people who have come out of the voting booth? Are they reporting a bit of hesitation, a bit of these are nervousness going into the closing?
Yeah, no, these are mostly just people who are mourning. And that won't stop us from asking the hard-hitting questions, and I'll tell you that the police officers here aren't going to stop us either. As KNN News always likes to say, get news now. And that's what we do here at KNN, and I'm sure you're familiar with my 25 years here, and 2, that's right, count them. 2,
we wouldn't want anyone else, Glenn.
2 KNN... No, that's right. Yep. Nobody else can do it like me. That's 2 KNN Field Reporter of the Year awards. And that's something they don't give out to any old Dob. I'll tell you that. My daddy Dob would love to get his hands on one of those.
So
he can't though. He's gone. He can't grab that. He can't grab my neck either.
Mr. Dob, I have to interject here. So
yeah, go ahead, Chet. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear.
I understand the nature of the situation. That's an oopsie. We're going to see what caused that. We're going to see what's going on there. What got you across the country?
The TSA, I'll tell you, the TSA people, they get you all mixed up and they take advantage of you.
I think the first red flag would have been boarding the plane. I didn't think we would need to fly to the Keystone State, considering where our studio is based out of. But that being said, we're just going to roll with it. So, I'm going to guess, judging by the...
No, it was a long flight. That was a red flag. That one's on me.
Judging by the high traffic area where you're located there, Glenn, could you potentially just holler over to someone who is maybe looks like they just voted, maybe wearing the sticker on a hat or a pin? Could you just kind of get a sense of maybe what the vibe of the ground is right there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, a little delay. I got you. No, so you want me to ask him questions? Okay, yeah, I can ask him things too. I have been shouting a lot at the crowd here. As you can see, ABC, those fuckers beat us. Okay, they beat us here. And we'll give them that. And we'll give them that. We're not going to give an inch more. Because the thing is, you see, our truck is parked right up here. Right up here. And what these fuckers did, and you'll have to excuse me, 25 years, never seen this. They followed us from
Glenn,
the
I'm
airport.
going to remind you that we are live.
They
We are
followed-
live, Glenn. I can understand your concern, but we are live.
We do the delay. We do the 5-minute delay. No,
But
I don't think
we're
he's
down to
right.
7
We're not.
seconds, Glenn. This is
No, this kid hasn't been doing it as long as I have. We do a delay. Scott, just keep fucking recording. We do a delay. It's fine. Cut it and then start it here. Hey, Chet, are you coming through? How you doing, buddy?
I still got you, Glenn.
All right. Hey, we're over here in Allentown, and
Oh,
I'll tell you
fantastic.
what, the people here are great. They're great. It's very bright out here because of the lights. Mayor Turek has installed a lot of very high quality halogen lights, and it's very bright.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We've talked to many happy people, very happy people here.
So what are we hearing? Are
No car crashes, no screeching.
you seeing
That's for sure.
You seeing a lot of support for Boba Fetterman, or are we doing we're doing Mehmet? Are we a lot of Mehmet support there in Center City?
We've asked around quite a few people here, and the general poll that we're getting here, people are very, very upbeat on both Fetterman and Mehmet. And I'll tell you, I actually stopped one woman. She's about 72 years old, and she's been she's a native-born Washington, Allentown native, born from Allentown, and lived in Allentown her whole 72 years.
72.
And what she told me is, she said, I don't care if it's the wonderful world of Oz, or if it's Mr. Fetterman, but I'll tell you, I've got a memo for Mehmet and I've got a letter for Fetterman, and I just couldn't stop slapping my knees when she told me that. I said, you are salt of the earth. Salt of the earth.
Could you get a sense of who she voted for, though?
Oh yeah, definitely Oz. She had a lot of choice words about Fetterman.
Okay.
She said he deserved what came to him.
Ooh, wow. So a lot of vitriol potentially spreading. One of the topics we're going to cover this evening, the rising level of animosity and potential routes towards enlightened centrism. Of course.
Yeah, there's been a lot of riots. Oh, I'm sorry, the delay. Go ahead.
Riots? Did I get that right? There's a riot occurring right now in Allentown?
Things are very calm here and very under control, and our democracy is very secure.
Of course. We thank everyone for participating in the democratic process in a...
Keep the camera here. Don't fucking cut away.
In a very straightforward, measured,
they can't hear what
forward-thinking way.
Here. All right? So if you guys want to talk about what's happening, we could talk about it, but we're not showing them. These people can't handle what's happening.
Are you seeing a lot of lines? Is there a lot of in-person support at the polling booths? Or is it going to be a little bit of a trickle on this fine November evening?
Are we seeing a lot? Yeah, we're seeing lines over here. We're seeing lines of smiling faces. Haven't seen so many lines since the 80s at a disco club. I'll tell you, the people out here, they've got such an even-keeled temper. And the reason I say that is because, I come over to these people and they don't know me from Joe Blow. They don't know me from, they don't know me from a rock. Not the Rock, all right? I'm a big Zoa fan. But they let you talk and you can ask them questions and you say, hey, which God do you believe in? And you know what? They'll tell you. And they're honest. And they're just, I keep telling people here, I say, oh, bless your heart. You're salt of the earth. And back to you.
All right. Glenn, we're going to keep you on right here, mostly because we don't know how to cut the satellite feed.
Show them the fucking
and of course, Glenn,
they see riot
thank you so much. We're going to be cutting back to you and referring back to you frequently throughout the evening. You stand by, stand tuned, and be ready. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again.
We will. Thanks, Chet.
We're going to ask you to stop talking now, Glenn. All right? We didn't cut the feed, but we cut away from you. We can still hear you, but we don't pay you if you're off camera. Ladies and gentlemen,
25 fucking years.
Thanks again. Thank you so much for tuning in. We know you have many choices of where you tune in to the 2022 midterm coverage, and we thank you for choosing Kaiju News Network. Coming up soon, we will have much more election coverage, including deep dives on the various candidates of the Keystone State. We will have interviews from various personalities. You want to stay tuned for all these. And of course, that specific type of news coverage that Kaiju News Network can provide. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these short messages.
We've heard some of you are waiting for a rice-a-roni with a bit less salt. Well, here you go. Introducing a rice-a-roni with a third less salt and lots of great taste. Good thing there's plenty to go around.
The San Francisco treat.
A grapefruit drink that's actually sweet? Yeah. Ocean Spray Ruby Red grapefruit juice drink. It's got a sweet taste that's really different. If this is grapefruit juice, this is sweeter Ruby Red. Surprisingly sweet Ocean Spray Ruby Red.
Hey, Shelley, guess what? 4 out of 5 people are just like me.
Why? Do they need babysitters too?
No. In a taste test, 4 out of 5 people preferred healthy favorites over Healthy Choice's non-fat cream cheese product, just like me.
So there's brains to go with those good looks.
You don't need brains to be like me. Just taste.
It doesn't take a genius to know that healthy favorites taste better.
I knew you'd see it my way.
Kraft Healthy Favorites, reduced fat cheese. It just tastes better.
What kind of cars are they going to give us?
Get a Margate, you're going to get a Explorer.
Each year, a shipment of school supplies arrives at community colleges nationwide. Here, students, handpicked by Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, earn degrees in automotive technology on cars and trucks supplied by Ford. So they can give you a level of service at our dealerships you won't find anywhere else. Ford and Lincoln Mercury Quality Care, where the quality continues.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with FiberCon? Doctor-recommended FiberCon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
My daughter can spot a cute boy at 150 yards. It's finding a tomato that gives her trouble.
Whirlpool thinks anybody should be able to find anything they need in a refrigerator.
If I hear, "Where's the ketchup?" one more time, I'll scream.
Don't scream. This Whirlpool refrigerator has see-through bins, shelves that slide, and up-front lighting.
I like to see my kids fend for themselves.
Whirlpool, how to make a home run.
If I said I found a breakfast that helps keep me going strong all morning, you'd say that's some discovery. Well, it was for me. It's breakfast with grape nuts. I heard try it for a week and see how good you'll feel all morning. Well, you know what? I feel great. Turns out, grape nuts is a fat-free, natural energy source. And it tastes so good, so hearty. But really, you've got to try it. Just give it a week yourself.
Breakfast with post-grape nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
What would you get if you squeezed the refreshing flavor of this orange or this lemon into a nice, plump Sunsweet prune? You'd get delicious new Sunsweet orange essence or lemon essence pitted prunes. Better hurry before someone gets yours.
Jane talks to the cast of Cheers.
A new series.
I'd like that. That'd be a happy ending. That'd be very sweet.
An all-new Dateline NBC Tuesday.
How many times I told my dad to see a doctor? He was stubborn. But the pain in his stomach just wouldn't go away. He had to go. You should have seen the relief on his face when the doctor said my Lanta. He said it was indigestion, and his kind of indigestion needed strong medicine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Once again, thank you. This is KNN News Network bringing to you live midterm United States coverage. Maybe we'll visit some other countries one day. I'm not sure, but tonight it's all America, all day and all night. Now, thank you for bearing with us during the commercial break. We will be beginning our deep dive of the midterm candidates for the Keystone State. Pennsylvania is the 31st state we are focusing on during our midterm coverage. After this, we're going to get over to New Jersey and then, of course, work our way up into the Northeast before swinging back down into the Northern Territories. Now, with me as always is my dear friend, my muse, my companion through thick and thin, Glenn? Glenn, do we still have you here?
Hey, Chet, yeah, this audio link seems a little bit better. Can you hear me? I'm not hearing much latency on this call.
Okay, no, Glenn, this is a dramatic improvement. I don't know where you found yourself, but you don't go anywhere. Don't move.
Well, the police, they went ahead. They ushered me out. They apparently they were saying it is technically possible to harass people even if you work for a news agency. So it's we'll call that a happy accident that I'm at this payphone and no longer on the scene of the crash.
Well, that's perfectly acceptable. Now, Glenn, I understand that you did the deep dive for us on the PA candidates. You're going to sort of take the helm. You're sort of an encyclopedia of knowledge regarding these fine men and women that represent or hope to represent the Keystone State. I understand you've prepared some visual aids to go along to help our viewers along. Is that correct?
Yeah, you know what, Chet, I actually, what I did was, well, there was a little bit of an oopsie here, little oopsie. So, well, I was tasked with, assembling some visual guides to help voters to understand who's really on the ballot and what questions should be asked of these politicians. I'm talking, civil rights, healthcare, immigration, matters that are close to the voters' hearts. Little oopsie on this front, and this one's on me.
What's that, Glenn? What's the matter?
I'm sure your AV guys have probably got the slide deck I sent over, and there's one detail I just want to preface with.
Do we have the slides?
No,
we do. Okay.
I'm not legally allowed, due to a lawsuit that's pending, I'm not legally allowed to possess any images or depictions that are true to life of any political figures on my hard drive. For that reason, okay. I've come up with a creative solution here. Using neural networks, we've actually got a Pokemon version of all the candidates. And this is really to help appeal to the millennial, the young voter base. Because I understand they love...
Did I hear you correctly? They love Pokemon version. Like the cartoon.
Yeah, no, none of them are evolved. Wow. These are just, they're all, and it's just like the real thing. Now, they'll be fighting similar to how you'd expect Pokemon to fight, except with words and no electrical sacks. So what you'll see here is merely depiction due to legal reasons. Again, old Glenn Dobb is caught up in the red tape. The liberal media doesn't want you to see the real images. So what we've got are a Pokemon version, thanks to neural networks.
Okay, well, from what I understand, we're ready to showcase. I'm going to let you take point, of course. I'll be right alongside you asking questions and, just conveying what I personally know.
Yeah, thanks, Chet. Let's see what those AV boys can whip up and see if they can get that on screen for us, and I can,
Glenn,
give you a little breakdown.
Would you like me to start with the U.S. Senate race, Mehmet Oz versus John Fetterman? Should we begin there?
Yeah, Chet, let's bring that up. Let's start with the real important one. This is the heavy hitter.
Okay, let's show that one.
Yeah, if we can get these AV guys to show what the neural networks have come up with here is it's a very true to life image of both candidates. What you'll see here is John Fetterman on the left. Now Fetterman, since his recent medical issue, he's been really, really putting on weight. He's been working on his gains, and that shows in the polls.
Those are Pokemon, Glenn. Those are Pokemon?
Yeah, no. These are the political candidates who are running for our free office. This is this is for the gubernatorial race. I'm sorry, I apologize. The Senate race. A little mixed up here. Yeah, but these are candidates. Now, neural networks have created Pokemon representations. Again, these are not evolved. These are starter Pokemon of sorts. Now, once they take office, what form they may assume, that is between the voters and those running.
Now, well, thank you for that. This is enlightening, and I'm sure some of our younger viewers are getting a real kick out of this one. Of course, not a literal kick. I know they're fighting, but let's keep our hands and the feet to ourselves. Now, Glenn, judging by what I'm seeing here, it appears that the physical setbacks that Mr. Fetterman, potentially Senator Fetterman, has been undergoing recently doesn't seem to have slowed him down all that much. Now, judging by what I'm seeing here, he seems primed and ready for quite a scuffle.
Yeah, no, that's correct, Chet. What we're seeing is a real focus on rock type. He's been doing a lot of learning of skill sets that are very, very helpful for fighting electric type.
He's been very
candidates.
active in the coal region, so rock type would square with what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and one of the real twists here, he's been working very hard trying to combat Mehmet Oz's classic electric type of senator style. Now, the real twist here, as you'll probably notice, is Mr. Mehmet has apparently been working on his fire type. So this is going to be a real twist. We're going to see what happens once they enter the arena here. But as you can tell by looking at just the neural network's depiction of John Fetterman on the left here, he is very, very firm on his view of abortion and contraception. And that's very obvious by the depiction. His quote here directly, "A woman's right to an abortion is non-negotiable. Women should have control over their own bodies and their own lives, period." A highly controversial statement from a highly controversial candidate. Now,
fascinating.
Contrary to that view, Mehmet Oz over here, his direct quote on abortion and contraception is as follows. Dr. Oz is a successful heart surgeon. He has literally held a beating heart in his hands. Only God has such power. He knows how precious life is and is 100% pro-life 99% of the time.
Only God has such power, yet potentially Senator Oz has also possessed such power? Does he yearn for more power? Is that what we're to understand?
He yearns for nothing. That's a direct quote from his last rally in Wisconsin. I'm sure you probably were following that live. I was on the scene, as you're familiar.
Of course.
And our condolences again to those trampled in the stampede. That was very tragic. A real juice world out there. Anyway. But yes, what we're noticing here is a real divergence of viewpoints when it comes to civil rights. John Fetterman is actually directly quoted here as saying, LGBTQIA plus communities deserve equal protections under the law. Black Lives Matter. Again, highly controversial statements from a highly controversial candidate. Not something you'd expect to hear a senator say, perhaps, but...
Glenn.
Yeah, go ahead,
Glenn,
Chet. I'm sorry.
If I could cut in just one moment. Recently, we've heard that John Fetterman has changed his stance on fracking. Now, of course, we know that the Keystone State is incredibly involved in the, once again, to borrow a term of yours, the controversial activity. What have you heard regarding voters in their opinion of Mr. Fetterman's potential flip-floppery?
Now, that's a great question. I've had a very, very lengthy conversation with quite a few, folks who live locally in this region. Unfortunately, it's a little bit further away from Allentown than we were intending. But the people here are very, very surprisingly pro-fracking Pennsylvania territory. Everybody that I spoke to here, from the crossing guard to school teachers, benign children walking across the street to buy a pop from the five and dime, folks who own candy stores, people doing laundry, selling linen, all said the same thing. Frack, 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 as long as it's in PA. A very, very surprising and resounding note.
I'm sure it is. Thank you for that, Glenn. That was incredibly enlightening. And of course, we shall see in a few short minutes. Wait a minute. I'm getting an update. Polls have closed as of 4 minutes ago in Pennsylvania. Are you seeing horse-mounted police being brought in to disperse the lines of voters still yet to cast their ballot, like we saw in 2018?
Surprisingly enough, we're not seeing any mounted police yet. What we have noticed is a very large convoy of fire trucks have been rolling down the streets, flanked on either side by street sweepers. What they appear to be doing, and this is just pure conjecture at this point, Chet. We will keep it honest. We will tell you only facts here at KNN, as we always have. They appear to be trying to hit old people with the water cannon and then sending the flanking street sweepers to sweep up the old people who've been washed down the street in the gutters in a very comical fashion, akin to something that the Warner Brothers would have produced in their early days.
I wish I was there to see that, Glenn.
Quite a sight for sore eyes, and I would bet all the folks caught up in that street sweeper will suffer from sore thighs. Back to you, Chet.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. Now, speaking of sore thighs, of course, we have more racing to be done in Pennsylvania. That being said, as of 5 minutes ago, that racing has concluded. Those thighs may rest, but we're just getting started. Next, we have, am I seeing this? Potentially a gubernatorial race? Gubernatorial? Well, what's the word there, Glenn?
Gubernatorial, you really nailed it. It's a tricky word. and it's one that a lot of people really screw the pooch on. You've nailed it. This gubernatorial race is sneaking up on us, and if you're not really staying acutely aware of what's happening and keeping your peripheral vision clear in the political landscape, you could get caught away and feel like quite the goober.
Now, I understand we have another slide. Should we switch to Shapiro versus Mastriano?
Yeah, let's switch it up. We can come back to senators later. Let's see what's going on in the gubernatorial race here. What you'll notice right away.
Kind of tell me what I'm seeing here.
Yes, what you're seeing here, again, due to legal reasons, I'm not currently allowed to possess images of officials from the United States government on my hard drives. What you're seeing is a neural network representation of both candidates.
Now, I've shook hands with Josh Shapiro, and that is a spinning image of the man.
And
you said that was an AI that did that. That looks like an artist's rendition.
This is really a testament of how far Meta's technology has come. This is right off the presses, hot from the Zuck's desk.
Wow. Fantastic work from Mark himself.
Yeah, Mark, I'll tell you, he's a little bit annoying as an IT guy, but he is really handy in times like this. What you'll notice, and what a lot of the viewers will notice, is that Josh Shapiro is truly a purely ocular existence. He is a singular floating eye, and he is permanently in a state of suspension. No one is quite sure if he will reanimate, if there are intentions to reanimate him, or if reanimation was ever really on the table at all. But what we do know about Josh Shapiro is that he does not bear too much of a resemblance to Ben Shapiro, which is good news for some, bad news for Ben's wife. Now,
wow.
Really informative stuff here. We come with the hard-hitting facts at KNN, as you're quite well aware.
Now, personally, I've never met Doug. Are voters saying that the lack of an entire lower torso could affect his chances, potentially his running, literally, and his running in the race?
No, you wouldn't be the first to make that joke. You certainly won't be the last. Old Doug No Legs is not one to be trifled with. Doug has really shown that he's a tour de force, not at the Tour de France, but at most events, be it athletic or otherwise. His intellectual prowess is bar none one of the best and brightest of the minds in the games tonight. But it does go without saying, not having a lower torso will detract from the voting base. A lot of people are a little bit off-put by his inability to amble, and gesticulation is limited to his upper body, which is a real drawback when it comes to foreign diplomacy. If you can't speak the language, it's hard to show.
Glenn, I apologize. I don't mean to cut off. I understand that there's much more to do in terms of the deep dive. That being said, breaking news, KNN can report that a large algal bloom, we can call that a large algal bloom, is sweeping from the southwest of PA into the central Pennsylvania region. Now, we know most of these voters swing right. That being said, the algal bloom appears more of an orange color. Is that going to affect the end result, do you think?
Yeah, Chet, I'm going to respond with a direct quote from Doug on this issue. Doug is 100% in support of the Second Amendment rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. Doug believes wholeheartedly that the government shall not infringe on that right. And Doug has stated that he will fight for preemption and reciprocity, and he will never support any legislation that seeks to restrict or limit the right for law-abiding citizens to fight algal blooms with lead.
Glenn, I'm getting word here from the tech folks that actually, that's not an algal bloom. That appears to be a primarily right-leaning district. So it looks like some of the votes are starting to come in. Some of the votes are being called. And the central PA region is going to skew largely right, as it traditionally has. I apologize for the miscommunication. Anyone who is on their roof or in their attic, they may return to ground level. Now, I see here we have a couple others. I'm going to cut to this one, Gerhardt versus Weiss. What can you tell us about these two? Now, this is, of course, more of a humanoid. I'm seeing a lot of bipedal combatants here.
Yeah, we're jumping back to the senatorial race here. We're looking at two real bright up-and-comers. What a lot of people have confused as a young Danny Trejo is actually Richard L. Weiss. That's no relation to Wise Markets, very popular chain of food sales products. What I can tell you about these party members is Richard L. Weiss is confusingly a member of the Green Party. And he is pro-algal blooms. This is deeply concerning based on the recent reports that are pouring in from adjacent news stations, which could be a bit of an echo chamber effect. We'll wait to see if those reports pan out to be true about algal blooms, or if perhaps that's just some subpar reporters trying to...
If the mistake I made turns out to be actually debunked in that it is an actual algal bloom, we will be the first to let you know. I guarantee this.
A lot of news agencies here try to take the lazy road and re-report what's being broken here on KNN. Every once and again, you'll notice we pop a little false flag out there just to see who's trying a little too hard.
Watch your back.
CBS. What are you guys doing?
Are we legally allowed to say that? Are we legal? The reason I hesitated.
SEA.
SEA.
Because we see the BS.
Okay, lovely. So, we have I'm being fed a viewer question. What about the PA voters that swing both ways? Now, we've heard reports that ballot stacking is something of a concern. People casting multiple votes, casting for family members, be they deceased or otherwise. Have we heard any reports of large swaths of hive mind-like individuals casting for each of their singular entities?
No, we've seen a lot of reanimated corpses dragged out, and this is a new technique that mostly Democrats appear to be trying to slip past the watchful eyes of the Republican gatekeepers that are keeping these ballots secured.
Are you referring to, of course, the Oath Keepers? The Republican Oath Keepers?
I don't think any one of them's ever told a lie to me. I think they all keep their word. As far as I've seen, they're good old boys over there, the grand old party. And so they're doing great things, all of them keeping their oath, all of them very, from what I've seen, very Christian, very, very God-fearing people. But one of their shortcomings, they seem to be unaware of who's alive and who's dead. And the Democrats are really using that to their advantage on this election season. We've seen multiple cases of gurneys carrying what presumably are bags of deceased family members. They're being really just dragged out and slopped into the voting area. It's a very unceremonious process that we're seeing really repeated, rinse and repeat all across America, the same issue at the same polling boxes. Right now, it doesn't seem to be something where folks are able to stop them. It's certainly a matter that's going to be brought up for the next election season. But as far as this election, I would say those voters swinging both ways will be able to swing that pendulum both ways as long as you've got a bag filled with a body that you can swing both ways. Chet, back to you.
Thank you, Glenn. Now, of course, moving on from the senatorial race, we have one last slide, whatever you'd like to call it, a generation.
A neural generation.
Christiana Di Guglio versus Hackenberg. Could you explain a little bit about what we're seeing here?
I'll be honest with you. When I first submitted this information to the neural network, I was not personally expecting to see a direct still image of both candidates. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what we've got standing in front of you today. On the left, you can see very clearly Christina P.K. Di Guglio versus Matt Hackenberg on the right. Matt, who is very well known in his quarters for amputating both his hands and having them replaced with lobster claws. A very bold move, a very pro-seafood move, and a very pro-fisherman union move.
I'm just a little taken aback by what I'm seeing here. It was quite a bold move. Did it differentiate him from the other candidates? Did it make him stand out?
I think it's safe to say those lobster claws really did a number on the campaign trail. Shaking hands, kissing babies does one thing, but if you've got two hands that sub as castanets, you're the life of any rally. What we've noticed is Christina Piqué trying hard to combat that move. She went ahead and opted to become a bit of an idol, basing herself loosely off an Aztec god. What the plastic surgeons have been able to do is quite startling. Nobody's quite sure what those floating...
I was about to ask there,
Glenn.
Glenn.
Yes, those floating circular objects. We haven't been able to get close enough to the Christina Piqué de Guillot to see exactly what those are, or if the color is truly black, or if it is perhaps the absence of color. A lot of us have speculations, and several have gotten very close to discovering the truth. Unfortunately, for James and for Glenn the Lesser, well, we can safely assume they got too close to those spheres.
Well, thank you so much, Glenn. We appreciate the deep dive. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we move on?
I think I would just like to say, when you get a glimpse of these candidates, and you have a moment to reflect on the crucial issues that each one brings to the table, I'd like you to think for a moment, deep down. Think of yourself eating supper on a Sunday afternoon. A savory, succulent supper.
I'm going to close my eyes a little bit and really seep in the mental image.
Gee, Chet, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen at home, if you can do the same as Chet, close your eyes and imagine that succulent, savory sausage supper you're having on Sunday with the family.
The Nest Cam widget that we had y'all install back in 2019 will know if you're not closing your eyes.
Close those peepers. I'm not kidding. Close them up.
Close them, Vermentis, close them peepers.
Close them up. Are you closed yet?
They're closed.
Oh, they better be closed like stores during COVID times. All right, I think I've given you enough time. Now picture yourself at the table. You pull open a chair, you crack open a cold chair, and you pull it out and you say, "What? Was that someone knocking at the door?" You tell little Susie to hush up now for a moment. You've got to answer the door and see if it's the tax man again. You know he's coming around all times a day because you can't afford this expensive rent with the barley prices going down. The sweat dripping from your brow, you tell your wife, Susan, to calm down. Calm down for a moment. The grain prices are not in my control, and if I could, I'd drive them up to the moon for you. Right up to the moon! But I can't. So you pull open that chair. It's a nice cold one. You walk over to the door, fist clenched in rage as you grip your thumb rosary in your pocket and you pray you don't pop a nerve today. You grab the cold brass doorknob. You jiggle it because you know the damn lock doesn't work right, and Bobby's just off in school learning about his technical trade. Never comes home and fixes the door. You jostle it and you open it. And who do you see standing there? Go on now. Reach out. You can almost touch him. But you don't. You don't, because you remember, you can't touch him anymore. Not like we did 20 years ago. So you put your hand back in your pocket, a little bit less clenched, because you're happy to see that face, that stern face. Not smiling, but very a pleasant, stern face. Now open your eyes. Who do you see? It was Mehmet, wasn't it?
It was the doctor.
It was the good Dr. Mehmet.
It was Mehmet.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage all of you to go through this little exercise to determine who you should really vote for this coming election. And this midterm is important. It's not too late to get out and cast your ballots, even though the boxes are closed. Back to you, Chet.
Thank you, Glenn. Now, before we cut back to a commercial break, we would be remiss if we didn't thank our primary sponsor for the evening. Kaiju Energy. Kaiju Energy, we produce it, we also tell you the news. It's not a conflict of interest if it's all us, because it was always us. Now, Kaiju Energy is proud to reveal their new Blueberry Blast Kaiju Energy King of Monster limited edition. Buy every bag, yes, it comes bagged, we're Canadian. Buy every bag and you'll receive 2 free armor swaps in the new Halo Infinite Winter Update available now. Halo Infinite Winter Update with the new multiplayer online co-op and Forge beta. We gave it a year. Now give us a minute. Kaiju Energy. Oh, what's that? The extra dimensional abilities of the Kaiju Energy Blueberry Bass is activating. It appears to be phasing out of this dimension into the dimension where my wife never left me. What's the alternate version of myself is quenching as we speak. I can feel it lightening. Kaiju Energy.
Kaiju Energy, not responsible for killer clones unleashed from multiple dimensions. Kaiju Energy, not responsible for explosive bowel diarrhea symptoms. Kaiju Energy.
Once again, KNN thanks us for our generous support. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick with us. After this, we will have a viewer segment where callers may come in, talk about what they've been seeing live at the polls, talk about their experiences on midterm election night. Everyone, the line will soon be open. Get your phones ready and get those peepers ready to dial the numbers that your fingers will soon see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chet Greengrass. We'll be back with you shortly.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Also available in tablets and new gel caps.
When you suffer from allergies, you desperately want the relief a doctor can give you. The powerful relief you get from Tavist One. And now Tavist One is available without a prescription. Just 1 milligram of its potent antihistamine relieves your worst allergy symptoms for 12 straight hours. Tavist One and Tavist D. 1 tablet, 12 hours, and now no prescription.
My lord, the killer was eating cookies.
Quite right. But my client doesn't eat cookies. She eats Fig Newtons.
Case dismissed.
A cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake.
You like it?
Is that new Bonneville yours?
They really changed it, haven't they?
That's sharp. I figured you for a BMW or a Lexus.
Well, I checked them out. But with the Bonneville, I got everything I wanted. Leather, airbag, anti-lock brakes, and the power, the handling.
Mind me asking?
It was 10,000, 20,000 less than the BMW or Lexus.
We are driving excitement, Pontiac.
I like it.
Me too.
Now it's Red Lobster's world of lobster. Succulent rock lobster and Maine lobster. 7 great new dinners at very special prices for a limited time. Hurry to Red Lobster's world of lobster.
Tomorrow morning on Today, an exclusive interview with Frank Zappa.
Also, Ted Danson's last call on Cheers, plus Bob Hope's 90th birthday. So join us tomorrow morning.
And see what a difference today makes.
The new Lex.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiju News Network, your one-stop shop for shopping and stopping. Now, 2022 midterm elections are upon us, and we would be remiss if we didn't say, hey, those of you Central, Mountain Time, you little bastards over in Mountain Time, I know a few of you exist. Scurry on out of your coven and find your way over to your latest polling place because every vote counts. Now, thank you once again. Coming back from the commercial break, we have a spectacular segment, a elusive, hard to find, hard to pin down, yet extremely coveted individual has been so kind as to grace us with his voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you have been waiting for this. Of course, we have the one, the only, the extraordinaire, Dr. Adam C. Xavier. Now, from what I understand, there's been a recent change. Let's get the doctor on the line to confirm what exactly we're seeing here. Dr. Adam, are you with us? Are you on the line?
Hello, Chet. Yes, it is I, Adam C. Xavier Urkanet.
Come again?
Yes, Chet, it's me. You're coming through crystal clear on our lines across the Arctic. It's I, Adam C. Xavier Urkanet.
Urkanet?
Yes, you're butchering the name, but it's understandable as a Westerner as yourself, someone who's not educated in the ways of the Inuit.
Well, my apologies, Doctor. I didn't mean to offend. I hope there was no offense taken.
No offense can be taken where minds have not strode boldly, and I trust your mind is very meek, very meager.
Now, Doctor, once again, thank you for joining us. Last we saw of you, I understand that you were wrapping your mind around and changing the world with your bold new theory on time travel. Now, of course, we all know...
That's very, very old news. Very old indeed, perhaps because of the transcension of time that I have achieved, a sort of dilation of time. It feels as though it's been eons since we spoke last.
Yet at the same time,
just
but a moment.
Yesterday. Remarkable.
As you can see, I am a stout follower of your teachings. Now, Doctor, you disappeared off the face of the earth, or should I say, the face of our dimension, for some time. No one could find you. Many thought you dead. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to these past years?
I have been out of time, but in place. I felt the world rotating around me as I transcended things such as metric systems, imperial beliefs, democracy. I moved beyond them to a higher plane. Physically, I went to the Arctic. I moved beyond them. I physically moved.
I saw a recent photo of you at the North Pole. Looked like a lot of fun.
Yes, that was actually a funeral ceremony for the Inuits.
Oh.
Yes, probably another one of those lost in Western translation moments. But I trust if your mind had time to expand and open, you could come out of that cloistered oyster shell you live in KNN News. And it's not just you, you're one of the good news companies. But here with the Inuits, I found a new purpose in life. And that purpose is to core husks of very deeply, deeply stored biotissue within the ice cubes that Earth has created in this region. By that, what I mean is I'm doing extremely advanced research on biomolecular masses found in subatomic hypercompressed cubules.
Now, I understand you also have a fun experiment for our younger viewers. You're going to show us how liquid nitrogen works.
That is true. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a spill here.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that liquid nitrogen has been dispersed into the preschool. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that demo today, but after the kids get treatment for the frostbite, we will certainly be bringing that experiment back into rotation and first and foremost to KNN News.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, if you're just joining us, Dr. Adam C. Xavier Ukarnit is now joining us live on a satellite feed from the North Pole, or should I say, close to it. Now, Dr. Ukarnit has been kind enough to agree to field a number of viewer questions. So the line will soon be opening. We ask that you, if you have a question for us, myself, the doctor, be it about the midterms, be it about this nice photo of the Earth, any of the mysteries of the world you find yourself currently residing in or beyond, please. The line is yours, the floor is yours, and of course we will be here to field your questions. Now understand that we may cut you off, we may cut the feed if anything is a little below board. We ask that you please be under the utmost respect for Doctor's time. And the lines will be opening momentarily. While we're waiting for a few callers, Dr. Ukarnit, care to share any more of your delights with us?
Thank you, Chet. I would like to start by saying, please refrain from flat Earth questions. I've fielded so many of these questions back in my days working as a Rhodes Scholar. The reason I left for the Arctic is...
Callers, the lines are open. Call in now.
Quite plainly, the reason I came here was to find some degree of curvature to my life, to bring some stability to the sphere we're on. So if you would humor me and relent with these flat Earth questions, I think we'll have a very productive conversation about life, biology, time dilation, and abortion.
Now, Doctor, I just want to confirm you didn't time dilate this interview. This will be airing... Oh, apologies. I should have never doubted your power. We have an incoming call. We'll be patching them in shortly.
Go ahead and connect them up for us, Chet. Who is this that's calling in?
Okay, caller. One moment here, caller. We're just going to confirm the connection. Caller, if you can hear me, could you go ahead and tell us your name and where you're calling from this fine midterm evening?
Yeah, hey, Chet, it's Douglas. You know, I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Hello, Douglas. Thank you for calling in. Do you have any questions or comments regarding what you've been seeing this midterm evening?
Yeah, I just want to know what's up with the fake news and the Pokemons. Like, I don't know what your little field guy there was saying. I mean, if Fetterman's the rock type and Oz is the fire type, first off, if he thought he was going to be electric is normal effective against rock, my friend. The only reason it doesn't really hurt most rock Pokemon is because they have the ground subtype. And, you know, that's the real thing that hurts the electric. It's not the rock.
Quantum and subatomic
if Oz was going fire to get away from that, you know, fire is actually weak to rock. So now Fetterman is strong against Oz's type.
Now, Douglas, I apologize because we don't have Doug on the line. Or excuse me, we don't have Glenn on the line. Now, you make a very important point, and of course, I would be remiss if I didn't forward your question to Dr. Ukarnit. Dr. Ukarnit, as a master of elemental magics, could you lend any credence to Douglas's words?
Chet, I think you misunderstand what my degrees mean, and the insinuation that I perform magics, plural, spelled M-A-J-I-C-K-S, I'm assuming, is patently wrong, I would say. I have transversed some lesser academic studies that may or may not have brought me in contact with certain runes, Celtic objects. Yes, very historical.
Douglas, while Dr. Ukarnit elaborates, thank you for calling. We will be with you shortly to confirm your prize and chocolatiering gift.
Well, I just got one more thing I want to say, Chet. And, you know,
time is short, Doug.
It goes back to that Pokemon picture because, you know, with the way Fetterman's been flip-flopping, he really should have looked like a Magikarp there, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Douglas, you're sharp. You're sharp. That's why you're one of the longtime callers. That's why we always put you on the front, Doug.
All right, you take care now.
All right, you son of a bitch.
It's so long since I've heard a joke. Such pure bliss. The ice does many things for the soul, but nothing melts it like a good joke from the West.
We appear to be losing Dr. Incarnate. He appears to be losing touch with this reality. He appears to be night shifting. I don't know if you learned this with the Inuit people. We're going to get another caller on the line while he begins his incantation.
And these geometries,
we have a question. Please share call-in info for viewers. This is going to be Kendra on Discord, the KNN official Discord. Look for the Zaku, and you are in the right place.
That pulled us this far in societal growth, and allow
Hold on there, Doctor. Hold on there, Doctor.
To grow,
and allow these geometries to take hold.
Okay, it appears we have a second caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. Tell us who you are. And what is the purpose of this call?
Hello, my name is Minister Schneppling. I would like to know exactly how many pineapples are there.
Minister Schneppling, you're asking for the specific number of pineapples. Am I getting that correct?
The quantity, yes.
Now, judging by the nature of your intonation, I assume that these are pineapples that you've stacked into a vague cylinder in your basement. You've confirmed that there are no cameras or EM-emitting devices, and this is a test of Dr. Ukarnit's power, not unlike when Lucifer himself tempted Jesus on the roof of the temple.
Naturally, yes.
I understand. Dr. Ukarnit, could you vision walk into the minister's basement and confirm the number of citrus fruits?
I will walk buy citrus fruit. If I must. Tell me, what angle is your geometry at?
The good doctor is asking the angle of your geometry, Minister.
Oh, excuse me, I cannot hear the doctor. The angle is naturally obtuse.
Obtuse, Mr. Ucarnate. Dr. Ucarnate, apologies.
That's a cute answer. 4. Next question.
Thank you, caller. I believe you'll find that there are indeed 4 pineapples in your basement next to the body of the woman you've murdered. Thank you, caller. Dr. Ucarnate, I appreciate your brevity.
I really must return. We've had a small bear attack.
Oh.
Very tiny. But it does require tending. If I'm not careful, they may discover my location here.
Dr. Ucarnate, are you saying we're going to lose you? Do we have time for a few more calls?
I suppose they've already eaten quite a few of the kids. Bears' stomachs are finite, like the restrictions of the arrow of time. For that reason, I'll remain on your call. You've intrigued me with your pineapple talk.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. This is why you come and tune in to KNN for exclusive interviews and hard-hitting news like you are currently experiencing into your sense holes. Now, do we have any extra callers on the line? Potentially a gentleman caller? A potential suitor? Or are we going to get a first-hand opinion from the Zamboni fields throughout the central Pennsylvania region? Now, Canadians, don't be afraid to call in. I want to know what's happening up there, how big the mosquitoes are, and of course, what type of chant-based economy you find yourself currently undergoing, whatever Trudeau is up to. Anyone worldwide, please call in and make yourselves known. The doctor is waiting. We have another caller on the line. Caller, you are on the air. Go ahead and tell us what is happening. Who are you and why are you?
Let me help you.
Hello? My name is Gregory. I'm from Saskatoon.
Gregory from Saskatoon.
I want to ask the doctor, so I've been getting my house raided by interdimensional beings for like 3 months now. And I just want to know, like, what's the best repellent I can use, or can I just use a shotgun?
For all of the viewers, if you didn't quite catch that, our friend here is being assaulted by interdimensional invaders, and the doctor may have exactly what this individual needs to repel said invaders, be it a firearm, be it another mean. Doctor, what can you tell us?
Gregory, I really feel for you. You've touched on a very personal note for me as my family, if you've read any of my works, which I presume you have based on your high degree of intellect and awareness of the interdimensional beings around you. My mother actually still lives in Saskatoon, and for that reason, I'm very empathetic to your cause. As you're probably aware, Gregory, these geometries can be very violent and very varied. For that reason, I have to ask you a very serious question. That is, what champ are these enemies appearing as?
The good doctor is asking which champ the invaders primarily manifest as.
The champ is it's sort of like a sphere, but like also a pyramid with a little bit of rhombus in it.
Did you get that, Doctor?
Yeah, that's a classic titrumbus. Yes. All right. So if you have titrumbus or titrumbi, I'm not sure how many of these champs are appearing at once. What you'll need to do is you'll have to get ground time, the actual ingredient, ground time. It's a very simple cure. A lot of people don't know about the salve. You'll grind up the time, mix it with a bit of naturally occurring condensation, perhaps dew, morning dew that can be retrieved from leaves on trees. Grind that with 2 ounces of fig and a half a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil double pressed. Stir that up, put a little bit behind each of your earlobes, and you're going to want to put that on all the surfaces that the champs have looked at. And that should keep you covered if you repeat the process once every 3 to 6 months. Repeat as needed. Be very liberal with the usage of the time champs.
Okay. Caller, I hope that's going to help you during your future assaults. Best of luck to you in whatever may come your way, be it from above, below, or from within the mind.
Gregory,
Thank you, caller.
For the love of God,
Yeah,
if you haven't disconnected, Gregory, for the love of God, do not set your clock back.
I've disconnected Gregory. Let's hope he got that last portion. Doctor, anything to add before we wrap up with the segment?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway we can all really process from these events are life is short, bears are tall, and liquid nitrogen is cold enough to chill a child to the very bone. My, how brittle we become.
I believe the doctor has dematerialized. I'm getting word from my field crew that he appeared to transition into pure light before leaving a small spherical crater. Sort of an implosion is what I'm hearing. The crew appears unharmed, but many have gone blind. Wow. Dr. Adam C. Xavier Ukarnit. Ladies and gentlemen, we know not when we will see him next, but we thank him for his time. We have thanked him already, and we will thank him. To him, time is not linear. He will have this interview infinitely again, and yet has already done so infinite times. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us, please. We have much more coverage coming your way. Thank you very much, and may we resume shortly.
This GS luxury performance sedan. It not only corners better than the BMW 535i, but it rides smoother. Of course, if you still insist on feeling every pebble in the road, be our guest. See the GS at your Lexus dealer. The price is within reach, too.
Closed captioning made possible by the California Lottery.
Why is being your own boss called the American dream?
Because if I'm going to work hard for someone, I want it to be myself.
You can't get ahead working for somebody else. You need to be in business for yourself. Come to the Franchise and Business Opportunity Show this weekend. In one day, you can see a wide variety of opportunities that could put you in a successful business of your own.
There's a good selection of opportunities.
Franchises, distributorships, home businesses. See them all this weekend at the Santa Clara Convention Center. Don't miss it, or you could miss out on your future.
With most diets, you're totally preoccupied with food. Planning, shopping, cooking. At Jenny Craig, it's all done for you. So you get to focus on learning the new habits that will help you manage your weight long term. In fact, halfway to your goal weight, you'll start practicing those habits by planning some of your own meals. You'll even get to enjoy some of your old favorites. Clients tell me losing weight's never been so delicious.
Call us right now and lose all you want for our lowest price ever. Just a $19 program fee. Dial 1-800-92-JENNY.
The Ross store-wide clearance. Prices have been reduced dramatically throughout the store. Great savings for men, women, and kids. The Ross store-wide clearance, now.
There's something about coming home to the neighborhood that makes you feel good, safe. You just know you live in the right place. There are people working in your neighborhood who feel the same way. The experienced people of San Francisco Federal. They go to work to help keep your neighbors financially strong. By being the safe place for savings and by securing family homes. Quality and confidence, that's a good feeling. But then isn't the best thing about a neighborhood your neighbors?
Denny's asked America what they wanted in an all-you-can-eat breakfast.
I want more than just a lot of food.
I want a lot of choices.
Bacon, pancakes, and eggs any way I want them. The whole shooting match.
And I don't want it warmed under a lamp.
Tell you how I want it. I want bacon crisp and eggs over easy.
And I don't want to stand in line. Bring it to me. Thanks.
They do that at Denny's.
America, there's a new all-you-can-eat Grand Slam breakfast menu. Only at Denny's.
Is that too much to ask?
For the engineers building LA's Metro Rail, the goal isn't to just build a system that carries 200,000 commuters a day. It's to do it in only 5 years. Since it takes 2,000 phone calls a day to keep the project on track, Pacific Bell connected the Metro's 6 engineering firms to Centrex, the only phone system that's maintained 24 hours a day at Pacific Bell. It seems each company was inspired by the same idea.
Just how far will a dime go at Safeway? It'll get you all the golden delicious apples you want for 10 cents each. Sweet, juicy Valencia oranges, golden ripe bananas, and fresh, juicy limes, just 10 cents each. Pick up all the russet potatoes, green onions, and zucchini squash you want, 10 cents each. Even ruby grapefruit are just a dime each. So stop by during our 10-cent produce sale while we're on a roll.
When you get zapped by circumstances beyond your control, it's good to know that MetLife works hard to pay your claim promptly. Get Met. It pays.
KC Masterpiece has created a new taste in barbecue. A drizzle of golden honey, a dab of Dijon mustard. Sweet meets tangy. New Honey Dijon.
We did it.
From the kitchens of KC Masterpiece.
Nobody makes fajitas taste like the new fajitas at El Torito. While others use frozen chicken, we use fresh, plump breasts of chicken. Others use flap meat. El Torito uses only fresh juice.
Hello? We're live? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Mike Landell here, creator of these pillows, not to be confused with what's behind me. We had a little bit of a kerfuffle, and we had to change the name. That's my bad, my apologies. As you know, I've always owned up when I've fallen short. That's my promise to you, the American people, and no one else. If you have dual citizenship, I don't want to talk to you. These pillows have been important in Americans' lives for years, decades. Not only these pillows, but recently we expanded into my blanket, my comforter, and of course, my insole, my orthotic. Because if you're not walking right, you're walking woke. And if you're walking woke, you're walking wrong. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the radical mob, the lefties, the wokies, the wokers, and of course, honey, I woke the kids. They have been a thorn in my side, trying to silence me. Not a moment goes by where I don't face an onslaught. An onslaught. You should see the pillows I have created to protect myself. Things that no human should have to experience, but I deal with on a daily basis. Please, these pillows need a home and your neck needs support. I understand the metrics. I understand which way my consumers skew. And you need the unmatched comfort and potential of these pillows. Allow me to demonstrate. You see that? Incredible. Impressive. This could be yours. This can be yours, and this has been yours, and I thank you for your support. Please, I am reaching out to all viewers, all voters, and everyone who has trusted me in the past. I need your support. The radical woke mob has been spotted. It has been spotted. They have stripped the Pine Barrens of their resources, and they are moving south. They will soon reach the Carolinas. Virginia will not hold. I need your support so that we can add drone armaments to my arsenal. These pillows have given me so much, nothing compared to what God's given me and given us all. Hallelujah. Be unto him, for he is unto us. But I need your support now. We can wipe the woke mob off the face of the earth before they reach Richmond. This can happen. This can be the reality. We're doing it at the ballot box, and we can do it just south of the Pine Barrens. Jersey City has been lost. Wildwood has been lost. But it is not too late to save the good and fine folk of Charleston, the good and fine folk of Atlanta, the good and fine folk of Alexandria. Ladies and gentlemen, I make an appeal to you this evening. Mike Landell, look at the pillows. I can't do this alone. I can't do this by myself. I've tried. And though I may stand amongst men like that of a god, an Adonis, you and I both know that together we are strong. We are taking America back one election at a time. And of course, gerrymandering does assist. But we can't count on our boys in the White House, in the State House, in the background to get it done for us. Please, call now. The number on the screen will help you. Do you see the number? Only true believers see the number. We ask that you put on the 3D goggles that were provided during your most recent purchase of MyPillow Custom Orthotics. That will show you the number. That will show you where you have to go and when you have to meet me in person for the next stage of ascension. Mike Landell, fighting the good fight. I will return.
Juicy skirt stick. We use 7 fresh garden vegetables sautéed in spices of the Yucatan. And we're so proud of our new fajitas, we'll give you our guacamole appetizer free, prepared fresh at your table, just for trying them.
El Torito. Taste the difference. Discover the value.
On the next Entertainment Tonight, she did burlesque, she did a nude centerfold, she did X-rated videos.
When it came down to the making love scenes, that came natural.
Now Heather Hunter is going from porn to pop music, and she's telling E.T. how she's making this giant jump.
I'm looking at it like, oh my God, can I handle this?
Plus Jurassic Park. Get an exclusive first peek behind the scenes of Spielberg's truly mammoth new film. See it all on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 6:30 on Channel 4.
When it comes to buying a home in California, you need every advantage. Like a credit card that earns a 5% rebate toward buying, refinancing, even helping the kids. Introducing the California Advantage, only from Wells Fargo. Every purchase earns a 5% rebate toward a home loan. Apply now, 1-800-547-WELLS for a better brand of credit card.
Oh, folks. Hello. Any idea how many gallons of water there are in the San Francisco Bay?
Who cares?
That's absolutely right. Who cares? Johnny, tell this happy couple what they've won.
You've won a party at Harvey's Resort Casino, Lake Tahoe. You'll enjoy a deluxe room, free breakfast, free shows, and a health club, all for just $69 a night.
Hey, how'd you guys get in here anyways?
Who cares? So remember, folks, your party's at Harvey's.
It's never been your style to live like anyone else, so why start now? The American Dimensions collection from Ethan Allen. Eclectic and most agreeably priced. For people who really love to live at home. Right now, there's a sale going on at your local Ethan Allen.
Can the Malvin spot the best prime rib value from this lineup?
Nope. Nope. What are you, nuts? Now that's it!
That's right. At Carol's, they're serving a generous half-pound of tender prime rib with fresh vegetables and baked potato, all for only $7.99. And why not add golden fried shrimp for just $1.99? So tonight, enjoy great prime rib at Carol's.
The A's against Hall of Fame bound George Brett's Royals.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Kaiju News Network, we have returned. The polls have been closed, but my viewers, are our minds open. We hope you've been enjoying our midterm 2022 election coverage. We thank you all for joining us, whether you've been watching all 47 hours or you have merely joined moments ago. We know your lives are busy. We know you have many choices. We know that Kaiju News Network is the channel that is obligated to start every time you activate your Westinghouse television set, and we thank you for sticking to us during these unprecedented times. My name, of course, is Chet Greengrass, and I will be with you the remainder of the evening. Of course, it won't be alone. Glenn Dobb. I'm hearing that Glenn is on the move, but we'll be ready for us shortly. But before that, we have a second, and ladies and gentlemen, the treats just keep on getting delivered. Is it Halloween night? Come again? Is it Thanksgiving morning? Cheesecake flowing? No, it's Kaiju News Network, and we are here, and we are dear to you. Ladies and gentlemen, with me on the line, of course, we have a spectacular interview lined up for you. We have a former lieutenant governor and none other than movie mogul, governmental kingpin, an all-around spectacular individual. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jesse Ventura on the line. Jesse, are you coming through? Jesse, can you hear me? This is Chet. You still got me?
Hey there, Chet. Hey, Chet, is that you? Can you hear me coming through over the line?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, Mr. Ventura.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, it's a little bit choppy down here in the bunker, but you're coming through loud and clear, crystal. I'll tell you, I haven't heard a greeting like that since back in the day. Were you talking about me or were you talking about Kim Jong? That was I'll tell you, that was one of the better intros that I've ever had. And as you covered, I was previously lieutenant governor of, that's right, Minnesota. The big one. Mm-hmm. And that's why you'll see, this portrait you got up of me, wow, that's flattering. That's flattering. Where'd you get that? They actually hung this up in the Minnesota State House. I actually had that commissioned. That was a piece I had commissioned.
You were kind enough to send us a 1-to-1 scale copy that is currently resting, leaning against the wall in the KNN head studio.
Oh, no kidding. That's funny. I must have forgot. How about that? These paintings, I'll tell you.
Mr. Ventura,
they're not cheap.
Mr. Ventura, I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off. Of course, we can listen to you for hours.
They call me the body. Has anyone ever told you that? They call me the body. It's
Mr.
real
Ventura,
interesting. Yeah, no.
How you feeling this midterm election evening? What's the energy? Have you cast your vote? Or are you waiting until the last minute?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'll tell you. A lot of the people around me that, the quote-unquote medical professionals, liberals is what they are. They'll try to tell you, oh, no, oh, Jesse's doing bad. Oh, Jesse's got a big arm tumor. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. I'll tell you what, were they called the body? Did they wrestle in the big leagues? How about did they shake the hands of old Trumperino? No, but I did. So whose arms are really filled with tumors, huh, Doc? I tell you, not me, not the body. That's who.
Viewers, if you have any questions for Lieutenant Governor Ventura, please add them in the chat window. We will be reading off the chat window if any viewers have any questions.
Technically, I'm legally obligated to tell you former Lieutenant Governor, but if you ask the people in Minnesota, they're going to tell you, Jesse's the guy. Jesse's the body, all right?
Well, Jesse,
That's me.
I
What do you
don't know
got
if you've
for
been
me,
listening
Chet?
to us. I don't know if you've been listening, but we just had Dr. C. Adam C. Xavier C. Garnet.
You kidding me? You got Dr. Garnet on,
we know you two go way back and way forward because both of you have done many a peyote evening
mescaline,
together.
Yeah, old mescaline buddies we were. He used to come over with his kit, and he'd light me up like a Chinese firecracker. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, the antics we would get into. The number of times that we had to be detained by the mounted police. Oh, Betty, I'll tell you, you'd think they'd retract my visa. But you can't because I'm big. Look at that painting. See what I'm doing to that man with my arm? That man was a strong man. He was a big man. But I'm Jesse the Body Ventura, so he couldn't do nothing about that. And that's how I handled that.
Mr. Ventura. Please.
No,
you gotta give us a morsel, Mr. Ventura. Are you planning on sticking in politics? Are there any ambitions for potentially a 2024 run?
Oh, Buddy, well, you know what? I'd be lying if I told you I didn't think about it. And I'd be lying if I told you the salt golems and I haven't been conferring about it. Now, a lot of people don't like to talk about the salt golems, and, you know, KNN's one of the good news is, that's right, you know.
We've been told that many times this
knowing
evening.
new news, right? KNN, that's your motto, and you guys know it. And you're not afraid to talk about the salt golems, and that's why we really, really appreciate what you do for us here over in Minnesota.
Oh, thank you for that tidbit, Mr. Ventura. Now, we're getting a few viewers with their questions. First viewer, I'm just seeing off here. It's been said that salt golems don't exist and that you have been referred to in not the most flattering way.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there, Chet. You know, we were on good turf for a minute there. You and I, you know, we were on the good green grass, right? As your mom's name gave you, right? But I'll tell you, when you start coming at me sideways, I'll melt you down like they melted the salt golems after the Cold War, all right? I'll start pouring water right on your salt molecules if you come at me with that talk. No, they're real. All right, they're realer than the Nazis were, all right? And I won't hear any garlic knot talk about this non-stop flip-flap and floundering, okay? We're not sea salmon, all right? You know, Free Willy over here. I'm tired of people talking trash on salt golems, all right? It's on the periodic table, okay? Where's Nazis on there? They're not. Which one's real? The salt golems. Next question.
NaCl indeed, Mr. Ventura, NaCl indeed.
If you start spelling at me like one of them sodium, yep. Go ahead. My apologies, Chet. Next question.
Of course.
This is how politicking is done.
Lieutenant Governor, how do you make the best gumbo 2 hours before a gumbo cook-off while plastered? A little bit of a throwing you for a loop there at the end. But I think you've had experience.
You can't catch me off guard with that. I'll give you two quick answers. Number one, handcuffs. Number two, handcuffs. And Chet knows what I'm talking about. Chet's a Greengrass kind of guy, huh? No, what you want to do is pop some pepper in there, stay clear of the NaCl, right? It's this guy cooking gumbo.
Oh, Mr. Ventura.
Oh, we have fun here. What are you gonna do?
You're gonna make me redder than a cherry tomato. And it is midterm night, and you know I'm gonna get liquored up regardless of which way this thing turns.
Come on down to Old Gollies. We'll get you all salted up.
Now, Mr. Ventura, we could go and we could go and we could go.
Oh, and we will. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually wanted to talk to you about a couple of going problems I've been developing over the years. And, you know, the doctor says it's
Mr.
ED,
Ventura,
but I'll tell you what, it's the
please
salt.
keep in mind that KNN has a line of diuretic supplements. We can't talk about any other brands here, Mr. Ventura.
You know,
you've been briefed on
this. A lot
this.
of you guys try to stop me from talking. A lot of liberal media types try to stop me and the They
Mr.
Pillow
Ventura?
guy. The They Pillow guy, he was talking real truth. And, you know, KNN, I love you guys.
We run these pillows ads, Mr. Ventura.
Cut me off, you know.
Please.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on you KNNers, all right? I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on you KNNers,
okay?
and I swear to God, if you try to stop me, I will.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies for that. We always appreciate Mr. Ventura's time. Unfortunately, he brushed up a little too close to the corporate overlords. And by the corporate overlords, apologies, I of course refer to the outer gods that fund KNN News Network. They need their corporate sponsors to remain nice and cozy. Elon knows what I'm talking about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've received word that Glenn is just about ready for us. Get the former governor's picture. Okay, thank you. Okay. Viewers, I apologize. I see some more questions flowing in. Unfortunately, Mr. Ventura will have to be a future guest spot. Of course, for the long-time viewers, you know that not a week goes by where Mr. Ventura doesn't make an appearance here or there, be he the subject of a news story or a guest speaker or, hell, even co-anchor for a period of time. But what we need to understand here is, of course, the task at hand, the matter of the evening, Election Night 2022, the midterms of the United States, arguably the most influential night of the evening, other than, of course, November 1st, when I went outside and it was a little cloudy and a little humid, and I thought to myself, not going to get many more of these. Ladies and gentlemen, we're patching Glenn through shortly. The satellite boys, the sky jockeys say we have Glenn coming in.
Oh, the fucking thing works, or if they just can't sort out
Glenn,
their shit back at the
I think we're starting to get your audio.
In like 20, I would say 23 years, I've never seen the level of depravity that the studio's been exhibiting lately. You know, and for them to keep tricking me into these field gigs, and they keep stringing me along with the desk job, and then they hire the young guns. And then they ship me off. They ship me off.
Glenn, you are live on the air? How we doing over there? It looks like you're still in Washington, Glenn. I thought you were on the move, buddy. What you got going on?
Chet, you snuck up on me there, Chet. How you doing? You dropped in at a good time. Your ears must have been ringing. And the boys were just talking about KNN. The production value these days really coming a long way. Yeah, we're still live on the scene here of the splatooning of 3 children here in Washington.
Tell us what you're seeing, Glenn. Now that a few hours have passed, are you getting any updated opinions from the polling places, or are we just sort of watching the cleanup crew sweep glass off the road?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people have been asking questions about that. A lot of people have been asking us, is this election coverage? Why do you keep asking the deceased family for comment? And on and on and on with these questions. We're out here, doing what we've always done, and that's digging for truth bombs. We're the proverbial minesweeper, KNN. We are the minesweeper of truth. And, that's why we were formed, 140 odd years ago. And that's the way we're going to stay. Minesweepers of truth. So we're out here, are people talking about the election? Yes.
I would hope so there, Glenn.
Should I be in a different state right now? Yes. But I'll be honest with you. What you see here is my sleeping quarters.
We lost video for a second there, Glenn. Hold on, we're trying to get you back.
Oh, you just let me know. What I'm taking you guys over right now. I want to show you. This is right here. This is where I sleep.
We're going to try to get the full feed for you, Glenn.
You guys don't need to see the whole address or nothing.
We put it on anyway.
Yep, they're going to see the whole address now. Fuck. This is how the last Glenn got killed. You guys know that?
Glenn, you're live once again. Go ahead, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing. Is that a local polling place right there?
We're going to cut
is that a polling place? I'm seeing an American flag.
And we're going to go live now. We're going live now.
Glenn?
Hey, Chet, I'm over here at the scene of this is the Marriott. It's an unknown hotel we've come upon, and it is unrelated to any of our abodes. You won't find any of us here. None of our marked vehicles are here. And this is absolutely real and not fake. I'm going to walk around the corner here. And what I want to do is I want to show you guys something kind of neat. Come with me. See if you can keep up with me, camera guys. Yeah, I like to take these kids for a real trip, show what we used to do in the old days of reporting. Now, this is called the perfect shot. So what we see here is you've got a couple of rooms, that seem to be safe, right? They're up, they're out of the way, they're safe from the riffraff.
Is the lobby of the Marriott being used as a temporary polling station? Is that what we're getting at?
Well, I wouldn't call it temporary, and I wouldn't call it used. It's more of being abused as a permanent refuge for what I would call socialists.
Oh.
Some people
Could you elaborate on that for us?
Yes, Democrats.
Not the term, just the...
Oh, yes. Oh, no, so what's happened here, we've had a small kerfuffle. We had a couple of patriots, shall we say, euphemistically, who were very enthused and very charged up about the election here. And what they've done is they've gone ahead and barricaded themselves inside of the polling station. So that's a problem. And it's made a little bit difficult for some of the weaker, folks to kind of barge through, because you got to push a little bit to get the door open now and again when they're in there, and of course the guns are pretty big, and so what it is people they're getting scared because they're not as committed to casting the ballots. I gotta ask,
Glenn.
Go ahead there, Chet.
What state are you in? Where are you located here?
We're very, very close to Allen, very close to Pennsylvania.
That looks like where I had my recent baby gender reveal. What are the one with the large balloons?
No.
That I recognize that. That's in Allentown. Did you cross the country over the span of 90 minutes here, Glenn? That's impressive work. Could you let us in?
Yes, I'll tell you. This is Allentown, and that's in Pennsylvania. And we made it, as we always do here at KNN, we make it to the scene, the source of the news.
We thank you for your diligent
and that's why we're here. And this whole thing is not a backdrop.
Glenn,
it's not a backdrop.
Glenn, we're going to have to ask. We're going to have to ask.
We flew out here.
If you could, just tell us anything about the midterms, please, Glenn. We would.
Pressing me, guys. They're pressing me for juice.
We need some juice. Come on, we want that citrus.
You caught? These mics are good.
I don't care how much pulp's in there.
These mics are good. They pick up a lot, huh? Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. What's happening out here is there's a lot of people from Allentown, from this area that we're in, and they're all over the place. They're walking places, and you can't see them because they skitter around real quick around here. You know, there's one. There's one. You guys catch that?
Head on the swivel.
You guys
Glenn.
catch that? You got to be quick. Oh, yeah. You can't see them now because they're pretty skittish. A little skittish after the votes here. I think a lot of them are nervous that Dr. Oz is like a superhero or something. He's gonna Dr. Manhattan them with a giant exposed penis. But that's not the case. And I've talked to a lot of poll stations, a lot of voters deeply concerned that they're going to become vaporized carbon matter after Mehmet Oz is inevitably elected. That's not the case. What we've found out from talking to folks here in the field is just a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion. A couple kids got splatooned here. And I think people really are just trying to come together around what they can all agree on. And that's the, it's the fabric of our democracy that we can all agree on. It's made of, what's that? Red, white, and blue? Come on.
Well,
come on.
If that isn't a call for unity, I don't know what was. Glenn,
done here? They fucking get that?
Glenn, Glenn?
Hey, Chet, still with you. Still with you, Chet. What do we got going on here?
Glenn, you still with me? I think I lost the audio, Glenn.
This fucking guy's such a joke, dude.
Well, let's certainly hope that no one gets to experience the business end of Mehmet's Mehmet. Now, thank you everyone for tuning in. KNN will now go to an extended commercial
should have put me on the big screen. Guy's a fucking Gerber head. Could have got Biden on here for cheaper.
Apparently the funding's been cut.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Funding's been cut. The outer gods are no longer pleased with KNN, and they will be restructuring the entirety of the station. They are going to tear the flesh. They're going to open the flesh, and then they are going to wear the flesh so that the flesh may become the key. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, let's see if that ABC truck's still there. This guy's got to need.
I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. I think we lost Glenn. Either condolences to Glenn's family or best of luck to Glenn and the camera crew. Those boys are the most competent young men, and I think there was a female intern.
No, of course I'm not loyal at all. I don't care. Not loyal in my marriage, not loyal to this news station.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in. We will return shortly, in 1 week's time, for the continuation of this grand experience. We will have many more hard-hitting interviews, contact journalism, world, global, local, subterranean, aerial, aquatic, and many other types of news for you this evening. I have been Chet Greengrass. With me, as always, Glenn Dobb. Once again, Glenn, if you're out there, best of luck, buddy. Best of luck.
Will do you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to you this fine evening. Hug your children. It's almost 10 p.m. Make sure you know where they're at, roughly. If you don't know where your children are, that's completely fine, because soon the outer gods will find and collect them. Good night, everyone. This is Chet Greengrass signing off. Everyone, we hope you've had a spectacular time. By Blueberry Blast Kaiju Energy, of course. Oh, we got you back, Glenn. We're signing out, buddy. We're signing out. You have any final words there?
Yeah, just one moment. No, if you stick around 5 more minutes, I'm going to be done with this. And I swear to God, I'm good for the money. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to step back into the field for KNN, one of the finest news repositories in all of the Eastern Seaboard. 140-odd years of prescience really coming at you.
And we were there on day one.
And we will be there on the final day. And depending on who's voted into office in these coming hours and weeks, well, that final day may be a little bit sooner than you were anticipating. I'm Glenn Dobb, as always.
And I'm Chet Greengrass.
A dobble do ya.
It's Tuesday at 5:30.
Run to your butts.
Dinosaurs are coming back bigger than ever.
And I said, sure. But she was trying to give me confidence to go on, you know.
No comeback for Bob Hope. He's never been away.
It was great. I didn't have to take my clothes off.
And Heather says bye-bye blue movies, hello pop music, as Entertainment Tonight covers the beef for Thursday, May 13th, 1993.
Hey, that sounds a little different.
He wants all his friends to be out there doing things, to have fun.
He's like a natural athlete.
It's his dream house with a trampoline, skateboard ramp. He'll probably have a swimming pool there someday.
Just couches all over the living room so people can just crash.
Yeah, he's kind of larger than life in a way. No one else like Anton. Kind of psycho and kind of dangerous.
He's just a really nice guy. That is a blatant lie.